Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin, NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's talk about the NHL. So, sorry for the delay. Had problems with my setup. Also, delayed it by half an hour because just the scheduling is not working. So, for these streams, they should be Fridays, 12 a.m. Eastern. I think that's what's going to fit my schedule best. As as long as there's no other changes. But um, each time we get incrementally closer to what's best, and I think this will be better. So, yeah. So today we are going over my predictions for the Central Division. And so, what I discovered from the previous stream is since I don't have scientific work that I've done because this season I'm not going to do sports betting. I won't. Well, actually, I didn't ever show the information previously, so I guess it's not much different. But in any case, it's going to be very unscientific. I'm just going to give my gut predictions, of course, based on data I've run previously and things like that. So that's the plan for today. Actually, I should title this Pacific. So as always, this is done on the spot, no prep work except for the subject. So I'm literally just pulling up the document and other information right now. So I'm going to use cap friendly. Actually, I think I can share screen now. So I'm going to use cap friendly to look at the rosters. And sorry, I'm also sick, so if I'm coughing, sniffling, itching my nose and stuff, yeah, it's all related to that. I want NHL standings. Oh, yeah, this link doesn't work anymore. I'm gonna have to redo it. Standings. Let's bookmark it there. Why did it change fonts? Let me. Man, itchy nose. So actually, well, I was gonna write down the teams. Should I write down the teams and then? Yeah, I might as well just write them down. So this, as you can see on the right side of the screen, that's the previous standings, but I'm going to use that just to have it written down, and then I'll move them over once I cover each team. Okay, so we might as well start like I did last stream from top to bottom and then adjust as I go. So not necessarily who I think is going to be top to bottom, but we'll go based on the previous year's standings. And then, man, I should have brought Kleenex. Yeah, and then we'll adjust as I go over each team. So, So a big thing that's important to me is the depth of the teams. So, because you never know how many injuries you're going to get, like you saw with Florida last Stanley Cup final, just so many injuries to so many players. You could have a great team, and what it's going to come down to in the end is being healthy, and if you're not healthy, having enough depth. So, for example, with another example, Colorado losing Landeskog for, was it the whole season? But at the very least, the playoffs. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a big loss to have, and so that probably impacted their ability to do well. So, anyways, so let's see. So we got McKinnon, Rantanen, Nichushkin, Lehkonen. I like the pickup of Johansson. Tatar, I didn't notice. That was recent. Connor, Drouin. When did that happen? Um, Shows you how close I was paying attention in the off season. And I didn't do the off season recap, so those would have all that news would have brought me up to speed, but whatever. Um, so what is that? 1, 2. I don't know if I. They've got a deep lineup, but they're really missing offensive firepower behind McKinnon and Rantanen. Johansson's, a good player, but he's been very up and down. Like 28 points last season, less games, but um, Makar, Gerard, Manson, Taves, Byram, Jack Johnson. I don't mind the D. I think it's a decent D. Makar, obviously, is critical, and I really like Taves. I think he's a great defenseman. Um, Probably one of the best defenses in the league. Not necessarily defensively, but just kind of. They've got more offensive leaning, but still at least partially well rounded. So not bad. Goaltending, meh. How was he in the playoffs? 914, so he wasn't bad. Well, I mean, clearly we're gonna put them up there. The thing is the Central Division is especially weak, in my opinion. I don't really know if there's anybody that's going to be pushing for the top spot over Colorado. So we'll pencil them in as first spot, depending on what we see with the rest of the teams. I think Dallas made a couple changes, and so maybe they'll be good. Who's their coach? So Bednar. All right, so next up, will we go with Dallas? We might as well go with Dallas. Where is Dallas? There they are. Sege, Ben, Hintz. See, they have a lot of young talent producing and coming up. Oh, it was Duchesne they picked up. And he's still producing. And wasn't he bought out or something? I forget exactly what happened. Yeah, he was. Yeah. So, and he's still producing. Like, I mean, 22 goals is not easy to come by. 43 just a year before. Yeah, Yeah, so I think that's a great pickup for them. And he's not old. I think 34 or something like that. Or is it 32? So Seguin, Ben, Hintz, Robertson, Marchment. Pavelski's old. I don't know how he's going to produce. Fax, Duchesne, Dadanov. It's Craig Smith. I'm thinking of the other Smith that was with Vegas. Um, hmm. Sam Steele's not bad. I definitely say they're offensively deeper than Colorado on the high end, arguably close with like Robertson and Hintz. But I think there's more defense, or more defense, more offense, kind of good offense spread out. And when it comes to like going deep in the playoffs, I think that's especially going to be good. So I actually, you know what, I think I'm going to put Dallas already, even before finishing looking at them, ahead of Colorado. Because I know their D's good and their goaltending's decent. Heiskanen, Lindell, Suter. I don't know if Hakanpää, did he play a full? He did play full season, but nothing crazy in terms of production. Isn't Lundqvist a high pick? Yeah. Yeah, again, similar performance. A lot of young Europeans. I kind of like that kind of defense. For one, not expensive. A lot of the guys they have. Second, like a really good mix of being defensively capable but having good offense. Like especially a lot of the Finnish players, they're really well-rounded players. Um, yeah, you know what? I do think that I have them ahead of Colorado. Just barely, like, I mean, really, it's a coin flip between the two, but I'm just going to go ahead and predict Dallas to be ahead of Colorado. All right, Minnesota. This is a team I've never understood how they get to the playoffs. I don't think they're as good as, well, I think it's actually goaltending is the answer, but I've never thought they've been as good as they've performed. They've got some high end talent, but still. Um, Kaprizov, Boldy, Zuccarello, Eriksson Ek. Nothing too crazy behind there. Spurgeon, Brodeen, Middleton, Goligoski. Yeah, again, same thing. If it wasn't for, I like Fleury, even though I don't think he played as well last season. I think his save percentage wasn't that great. 908. Not bad, but um again, pretty well-rounded team, but like there's just not enough there in my opinion. Goaltending is going to really be an important thing. Defense is decent. I kind of like the core defense of this team more than many others. Just their depth, I don't know if I like as much. I definitely have them behind the Avalanche. where they sit with everybody else, we'll see. But I've never been, like I said, I've never been high on Minnesota. So don't be surprised if I put them way lower than they turn out producing. So next up, we'll do Winnipeg. So Winnipeg's my team. I don't dislike what they did in the offseason. To be honest, I think they brought in more than they lost, and they spread out the offense, which is something they've been missing. I think they focus too much on defensive forward lines, and I don't think that that's really effective or as effective, or it kind of depends on matchups too. Like there's a lot going on where just I don't think the two scoring lines, two defensive lines or one defensive line and a grinder line pretty much is how it used to be. I think they've played too much like historic teams that I think it's kind of put them behind. Anyways, so there's Connor, Scheifele, Ehlers. Like on the high end, there's some really good talent. And I think they have a lot more depth now. Ehlers, Iafalo's not bad. Niederreiter. I really like Niederreiter as a player. So that's 5. Velarde's decent. Lowry hasn't really produced as he is probably supposed to as a third line center. Nemesnikov. Perfetti was injured and he's supposed to produce. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, Kupari, I missed him. Morrissey, Schmidt, Pionk, Dillon, DeMello. Their depth on D isn't that great. I only really like a couple of the D. Goaltending's what's going to save the team. Who's the backup again? Brossoit came back. Isn't there another goalie we got? Where would I have them? So I always over-predict on them. Not because I'm a fan of them, but I think they always underperform. Where would I put the Jets? Definitely ahead of the Wild, I think. That's just my opinion. Because they have better scoring this team this time around. Better than the Avalanche. See, because their goaltending, they can really lean on. And now with the well-rounded forward group, it's just the D's not the best. And I don't like the coach that much either, to be honest. I think we'll go and put them third at the moment. I don't think anybody's going to knock them off of that spot from the rest of the guys. But I don't think they're quite good enough for the Avalanche. And just with the combination of the D and the coaching, I don't think I could put them ahead. If they had a better coach, better defense, like one of the two at least, I'd have them competitive with the Avalanche. Basically, all three of those teams I think are pretty close. Jets probably just slightly behind. Again, I don't think I have the bias because I'm not a diehard Jets fan where I think they're like everything. I just like the team, like the franchise, not the team necessarily. So yeah, so we'll put them there. see how things go. But I don't think really any of. I think all the rest are gonna fit in below these guys. That's what I'm guessing. The Blues maybe, but they got rid of some guys too, so I don't know. All right, next up is Nashville. O'Reilly, Nyquist. That's like basically your best of the team. Gurianov. There's not really much going on there. Man, they're bad. Defense not the worst. Yossi McDonough, Barry, Shen. It's not bad. Goaltending's good. But the offense is just, well, forwards and as a result, offensive production, I just don't see how they could do anything. For me, it's a no-brainer. Predators are below the Wild. Blues. Kyrou, Thomas, Shen, Buchnevich, Sod, Hayes. Vrana's not bad. Wasn't he out with player assistance or something? Or I'm confusing guys. Blay, Neighbors. And their D's pretty decent. Falk, Krug, Pareko, Leddy, Scandella, Bortuzzo, Bennington, Hoffer. I don't dislike this team, so I thought I would be unimpressed, but they're actually better than I thought they would be. They're like 3 lines deep with, a decent season out of Neighbors and stuff like that. Do I have them ahead of the Wild? Who's the coach? Is it still Berube? Huh. Do I have them ahead of the Wild? Yes. Do I have them ahead of the Jets? I think so. Yeah. And I could even argue I could have them ahead of Colorado. Because from Colorado with the team that won the Cup, they're missing Kadri and Landeskog. And, odds and ends here and there. The high end, obviously, in Colorado is great, and I think that kind of skews people's judgment. I kind of like if Binnington can stop being so emotional, I think they could be really good. And he's done really well even with the emotional stuff too sometimes. So I don't know. What's Colorado's depth again? You know what? As crazy as it's gonna sound, I think I'm gonna put Blues in second. Um, obviously, if I'm proven wrong, then I look like I'm crazy. But I think their depth is really good, and they've got enough scoring there. Defensive depth is quite good. Like it's a pretty well-rounded team. I think they just really underperformed. Like they won the cup with a similar team not that long ago. So, um, yeah, I guess maybe make a bold prediction there, but I don't think it's that crazy. And you know what? Why don't I even have them ahead of the Stars? I think Dallas just has more offensive firepower because I think St. Louis is lacking on the offensive production. Who's the coach? Dallas is what's that guy? Used to coach San Jose, if I'm not mistaken. DeBoer. Was it San Jose? I know Vegas, but yeah, so it was San Jose. Yeah, because they have DeBoer, I would put Dallas ahead of St. Louis. If it wasn't for DeBoer, it would be really close, and I'd maybe put St. Louis ahead. But Berube, he's gotten them to win a Stanley Cup before. I think they've just had a couple weird seasons. So, and they had a playoffs where I think well, Binnington got hurt and he was on a roll too. So I think it's been misleading their outcomes. So of course, you never know what's going to happen with injuries, and like I said last stream, tons of things can happen with using LTIR and getting somebody at the trade deadline and all that kind of stuff. Um, so we'll see what happens, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Then these other two, like they're obviously bottom feeders. Arizona, Keller, Schmaltz, Zucker, Bugstad, Dumba, Dursey. Are they better than Nashville? No, not even. Because Nashville's going to have some good goaltending and defense, and that's going to save them from being at the bottom. Um, so yeah, Arizona's going to be below Nashville, and then Blackhawks are almost certainly going to be the bottom. Bedard, I mean, he can't do much being a rookie. He's not very big as well physically, so yeah, they don't really have much going on. Jones, Zaitsev, Murphy. Nah, it's their goaltending. Mrazek's not bad. I think he's not a bad goalie. Hall, Athanasiu, Foligno. Better than Arizona? I think so, actually. I mean, they're basically the same. They're both not good, but I think Chicago's going to impress. I mean, sorry, I should say surprise is probably the better word. So, yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Now the question is to figure out who gets the wild card spots between Central and Pacific. What do the Flames look like? Oops. Because the Flames, I think I had them sort of like in terms of what's going to happen with them this season is like the Blues, where they just didn't play as well last season. Huberdeau, Kadri, Mangiapane, Backlund, Lindholm. There's not much behind that. Defense is kind of mediocre. Top four is not bad. Are the Flames better than the Jets? I don't think so from scoring. I think that's the difference. Defense is, I'd say Calgary's maybe slightly better, or they're about the same. Goaltending, I would have Winnipeg, although Markstrom's good. He had an off season, so in the playoffs, that's a different story. I'd have them pretty close. But regular season, because it's going to be offensive production, is going to make a difference. So Jets, I would have ahead of the Flames. Maybe I should change the numbering to 7 and 8 for the. So we'll have Jets as the 7th, so the first wild card spot. If I had the Flames ahead of the Kraken, I don't think I would have the Wild ahead of the Flames, would I? What do the Wild look like? Not enough depth, really. Offensively, defense isn't bad. Goaltending's good. Nah, I think I'd have the Flames ahead of the Wild. So it looks like we're actually keeping just 4 from each division. So yeah, I was just about to consider doing the playoff matchups, but I won't do that. I'll do that in the summary conclusion stream later on after I've done the rest of the divisions. So I think I'm okay with that. Stars ahead of Blues because of coaching, basically. Is that right, though? Because they're missing Klingberg. But their high-end scoring is better, and their coaching, I like. Yeah, so I'll still keep the Stars there. Blues, because of depth over Avalanche, I like that. It's going to be close because, like, the Avalanche are, on the high end, going to probably score more. It's just over all the games, I don't know. It's like they'll probably outscore big time in individual games, but then over the span of the season they might lose more. So I think their goal differential will probably be better than St. Louis. I just think St. Louis is going to sneak out more wins probably. Avalanche over the Jets, I think so. It's pretty close, I think, between pretty much all those 4 teams in the Central Division. I don't think the Wild are good enough. Predators definitely not, and the rest from there. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So Stars 1, Blues 2, Avalanche 3, Jets the 7th position in the conference, so first wild card, then Wild, Predators, Blackhawks, Coyotes. And that'll be it. So again, very unscientific, just kind of giving my gut instincts, taking a look at team depth and all that kind of stuff. Of course, we'll see if I'm right or not. What was so I've said this before. I think it was on average 6 teams change from being in a playoff spot. Like 6 new teams make the playoffs each season. In which case it would be Flames. Who made the playoffs last season? In the Central, or sorry, in the Western Conference. So we would have St. Louis, Winnipeg Avalanche and Stars were all in. And then Pacific, it would be Flames. So only 2. I do think a lot of the changes are going to come from the East anyway. So that actually is seems accurate. Cool. So we'll leave it there. If you like the stream, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. The channel homepage has upcoming streams on regular NHL content. Next one, thankfully I have this pulled up, will be... What day is that? 28th is Thursday. Supposed to be 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's where I do the recap of the off season from after the major part of free agency, which was like the first, I think I did the first like 5 or 6 days. And then otherwise, for things I can't schedule ahead of time, like franchise mode for NHL 23, that schedule's in the About section of the channel. Next one is Sunday, the 24th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Be a pros whenever I have time or feel like it, which I wish I had more time to play because I actually would like to play. Just haven't had much time. Any comments, leave them in the comments. Suggestions likewise. And we'll see you guys. I think that means Sunday. I don't think I have anything else scheduled before then. Let me just double check. Yeah, so I'll see you Sunday then for franchise mode. All right, so thanks for tuning in. See you guys then. Okay, bye.